Hi, I'm Laura. I want to apologize for my voice. I lost it at game day yesterday, but I want to share with you my new unit of measurement for cost. It's called the minimum wage hour. Most countries have their own unit of currency. There are over 180 world currencies worldwide, including the US dollar, which has been in circulation since 1913. A standard unit of currency can help a country track inflation as well as changes in the economy. It's also helpful for consumers because we can tell the difference between price changes relative to inflation. For example, we can tell the difference between an expensive loaf of bread and a cheap loaf of bread. Another prominent issue in the United States is meeting the needs of minimum wage workers. Currently, the federal minimum wage in the United States is $7.25 an hour, and there are over 3.3 million workers working at this wage or lower. This doesn't account for the number of workers working in jobs with minimum wage higher than $7.25. For example, the minimum wage currently in San Francisco is $15 an hour. So it's safe to assume that many more workers than just 3.3 million are working at minimum wage in this country. The increased cost of living, specifically in the Bay Area, are making it more difficult for those working at minimum wage to budget money and make a decent living. In Berkeley alone, the average price of a one-bedroom apartment is $2,796 per month. Creating a new unit of measurement based on minimum wage has two major benefits. The first is that it will help minimum wage workers budget their time and money. The second is that it will help workers who are not at minimum wage understand what it is like to live at a minimum wage. The minimum wage hour, or MWH, is equal to the number of dollars earned per hour at a minimum wage job. For example, in San Francisco, the minimum wage is $15 per hour. So if you wanted to buy a $30 pair of shoes, it would cost you 2 MWH. This new measurement of currency requires two things. The first is that it requires a new physical embodiment of currency. Like we have the US dollar note now, we would require a new note for an MWH. Additionally, we would require a standardized index of different minimum wages in different cities since it varies city to city. Here's an example of how the minimum wage hour could be beneficial to a minimum wage worker. Say there's a Berkeley student who wants to rent a one-bedroom apartment for the average price of $2,796 per month. At this point in time, the minimum wage in Berkeley is $12.53 per hour. So at this rate, the student would need to work 51.5 hours per week in order to pay rent every month. We can also apply the same unit to something like tuition. Say the same student living in an apartment is an in-state student with financial aid that covers 50% of his or her tuition. UC Berkeley in-state tuition is $14,068 per year, so with financial aid it would cost the student $7,034 per year. Since the academic year is 30 weeks, converting the cost to minimum wage hours demonstrates that the student will have to work an additional 18.7 hours per week to pay off tuition by the end of the semester. Not only does this help a student budget his or her time, but it also helps the average person understand what it's like for a student and a minimum wage worker to budget their time and their money.